Hi everyone, Mary the Psychic Shaman here, and today we are going to talk a little bit about shamanic journeying and what that means. So, for one thing, some people get confused on the steps. If you are taught one way, people think, well, you have to follow that. That's not true. There's all kinds of different ways and you can make it your own. The first way that you're taught how to do it is by envisioning where you're going. You're putting yourself in that altered state and you are taking your soul or your essence out of your body and traveling, whether it's the middle world, upper world, lower world. But the thing about it that, I look at, so I started doing journeys when I was in my teens. I didn't know that's what it was at the time, but it's still what it was. So what I did is I would envision going into this beautiful big oak tree, and I still have that oak tree, but it's not what I utilize to do my journeying. But I didn't know about the lower world, the upper world, the middle world. It was somewhat of an escape for me. And what I would do is I would envision walking into this big oak tree. And then when I came out of the oak tree, I was in a beautiful meadow or plain, and my power animal, my lion, was there. And this is where I would go to escape, to relax, to get away from reality. And it was, I called it the astral planes. And that's just, I didn't know. So that's one way that I journeyed. That's when I started journeying. Now with training, I've had two different methods for journeying with my training. Now I've had training in Karo shamanism as well as the mountain Peruvian shamanism. I don't think there's a specific name for that, but I could be wrong. Just the shamans that are in the mountains of Peru. It's different. You've got slightly different shamanistic practices between the Peruvian mountain shamans, the Karo, and the Amazonian jungle shamans. So there's different things, and I'm sure it's slightly different between each tribe as well. Just like the ayahuasca, I can never say it right. I believe that's through I think it's the Amazonian jungle part tribes utilize that, but Karo do as well. I think a lot for when people come to visit for tourism because they can make money off of it. But anyhow, so the two different traditions that I was taught are finding a power place. So the first step would be finding where your power place is in the middle world. This would be a part that is here in this reality as well that you have been to. So for example, if you've got, if you can think of where in nature do you feel the most at peace and at ease and so connected with our Mother Earth or Pachamama? Where do you go to reset? And this doesn't have to be in the mountains or somewhere that no one's around. It could be, a national forest. It could be your backyard. It could be a park. It really, it depends, because some people live in cities. They don't have access to certain areas. It could be somewhere where you went to when you were a child or on vacation. It could be any ocean kind of thing. As long as you have that body of water, the ocean, it could be that. So with that method is what you do is you envision yourself in your power place and you claim that power place, and that you're journeying to in the middle world. So you put yourself in the trance and then you envision yourself walking and connecting. And it's one thing you have to get through with journeying is it your mind? Are you making this stuff up, or are you actually having an outer body experience and you're actually doing a journey? You have to be in that altered state. There's no doubt about it. Now, the more and more you do it, it can be quick, really quick, which is, love it. It's very nice when you get to that point where you can just quickly go. But you do have to be in that state and start envisioning, and that's where it takes over. So, when you think about it, at first you have to use your mind to do the envisioning, but then after that, everything else should take over to where you're not putting all this stuff in that you're questioning, is this real or not? Another thing you can do is name your ego. I have a dragon, I name it Gecko, and I love him very much, but I will ask him to go and take a nap. And, or say, okay, are you involved? Let's separate. Another way, if you are envisioning yourself walking in this power place, look at your hands. Are they a little fuzzy? Is it still you? I mean, it shouldn't be like a dream, but it shouldn't be like reality either. So that's another way. Are you in third person or first person? And that can change. It can change really even in the same journey. So getting a little off topic here. But so for journeying, though, there's this other method, which is Caro, that I was taught, is going to your your power place in the middle world. Middle world is right on top of our reality here. And then from your power place in your middle world, then you can go either to the lower world or upper world. And that's for another time for explaining that. But that's one way for journeying. And another method that I learned too is to envision yourself standing on this grassy mound. And a lot of times you'll have a kuya or a stone, and you walk into this black, pitch black, where you can't see a thing, cave. From your mound, you walk into this cave. And you're going in blindly and trusting and searching for Mookie, which he's kind of like the gatekeeper, but he's also your guide, where you're journeying. And you put your hand out and you ask for Mookie, and you completely trust that, she is going to come to you in some form, but you have to let all your fear go. And you have to let your mind go too, and your ego here. But what'll happen is, and he can show up in all kinds of different forms, forms that are that you can Google and search. Maybe he'll look like that. Maybe he'll look like a child. Maybe he'll be a bee. Maybe he'll be a she. Who knows? So that's another method. You go in and you basically, with like the stone, is you're putting in what you want. What are you journeying for? And he'll be your guide to bring you to the answers that you're seeking, whether they're visions or talking to a spirit or something of that sort. So far we have 3 different ways. One that I just started as a teenager, which was going into my tree. I didn't have a set place at, lower, middle, upper world. Didn't have the power place. I just started journeying by utilizing this beautiful oak tree, which I made up in my head. It's not real. I haven't seen it in this reality anyways. And that is how I would journey as a child or teenager. And then with training, I have learned the method of utilizing your power place, which is in the middle world. And from there is where you access the lower world and upper world. And then as well as the Mookie type, which is standing on that grassy mound and entering that black cave. Now, it's different. I've got different when I do, like I said, when I used to go into the tree, it was an escape, and it was where I could go and talk to my power animal, and I could relax and see what's going on. It was not the middle world, but it was a different place on a different plane, right? Different plane of existence than here. A lot of I utilize the power place, and starting from there and going into lower and upper world for a lot of healing work when I'm doing healing on clients. I'll start there. Now it's a lot quicker to descend or ascend than it used to be when I first started. And a lot of work that I do when I utilize the mound method is when I want answers about the past. When I'm in I have used it for clients before, but I used it a lot for myself because I want wide answers. I want the big picture of what's going on, what happened, how to work through healing any past issues that I have, kind of thing, is what I've used it for a lot. And also for looking, even simple things of going, show me what the world was like 5,000 years ago, and Mookie can take you and you can see a vision of what it was like. So there's all kinds of different ways to journey, and I know people have their own ways as well. And there's ways to get into that trance. That is another video, which I should do, but you know, people use herbalism to help them get in that method. You can even use just certain essential oils in a diffuser help you get in that trance. You know, there's protection. You should open sacred space. You should have your guides with you and do a protection before doing any journeying, because if you think about it, you're still opening yourself up when you do this. You open yourself completely up. Your body and your soul are not completely connected at that time when you do the journey. So make sure that you do open sacred space at least. You know, you should have your guides can be gatekeepers. They can be guides to let you know, yes, you should do this. No, you shouldn't. Talk to them. And let me know, what are your methods for journeying? You know, what do you use to get in a trance? Where do you start at? What have you been taught? Or what do you just intuitively do to know? So a little bit about shamanic journeying, and again, let me know in the comments. And if you need any help with this, let me know. I'm always available. Well, almost always available. Not always, really. That was not right to say. But I can be available for you, definitely, if you would like some assistance, want to schedule anything, or even just for have a question. Just let me know. Again, this is Mary the Psychic Shaman, and I wish you all a wonderful weekend. I'll see you later.